Welcome to the Going North podcast, where we will deliver you tips and techniques to advance yourself in anything you decide to do. I'm your host, author, speaker, and book enthusiast, Dom Brightman, and every Thursday I will interview authors, especially self-published ones, from various walks of life, who will deliver you some inspiration and information to advance yourself. Be sure to check out my book called Going North on Amazon.com, available in both ebook and paperback. Audiobook coming soon to more ears near you. And let's get on with the show. Welcome to the Going North podcast, where we bring great individuals who advance themselves in life, and they will share some tips and techniques with you on how they advance themselves in life. And today we have a special guest because he is a leadership and communication speaker who is also an Amazon best-selling author of the book titled 7 Ways You Know You're Meant to Lead, as well as another book, 28 Days to a New Me, a Journey of Commitment. And his name is Robert Kennedy III, RK3. How you doing?
What's happening, brother? How you doing, man?
Doing fabulous. So, just gave a basic introduction, just a little glimpse into the life of Mr. RK3, but tell us a bit about yourself and how you got to where you are now as a leadership coach and a speaker, as well as a best-selling author on Amazon.
That's a really big question, man. But I'll try to trim it down into about 30 to 60 seconds or so. I am a dad. I'm a husband. I've been a teacher. I was a teacher for 10 years. I started a training company in 2008, and I've been officially a speaker since about 2014, 2015, and joined the National Speakers Association last year. When I decided to really focus on speaking a bit more, one of the first things I did was join Toastmasters. That was in 2014. And so that's been a bit of the journey right now. And so now it's just really continuing down the path and putting the things in place to create continued success. That's the nutshell.
That's the nutshell. Well, it's time to crack off the nut and see what is inside the shell. So basically joined the National Speakers Association. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, the National Speakers Association is pretty much where all the top dogs in the speaking industry are. And, you know, they say when you want to be successful, you got to be around success. And so I decided that, listen, I wasn't just going to be another one of the people that slapped the name motivational speaker on their title or just started going out and talking. I wanted to make a successful business out of this. I wanted to make sure that as I was doing it with the resources, with the tools that people before me had used. You know, I didn't want to reinvent the wheel and then be swimming around for years. I wanted to get to where I needed to get to quicker. So the best way to do that and the best way to short the process is to be around those who have already done it and find out what their paths are, connect with them, and see how you can make success. So that was the big reason. And the National Speakers Association, at least in the United States, is like the Super Bowl of speakers. So,
wow.
So that's kind of, that was the big reason that I decided to make that leap.
That is phenomenal. And you were teaching for over 10 years?
Yeah. I taught high school science for 7 years, middle school for 1 year, and 2 years I taught online college.
Nice. So teaching kids how to make things explode and helping people to explode the ideas out of their mind.
Well, yeah, a little bit of both. little bit of both. Yeah. So that, you try to keep it interesting for them. You try to make sure that they not only get information, but it's really experiential, and they're able to touch and see and learn how to challenge or address problems in their lives. And one of the best ways to do that is by giving them physical tools to do that.
Yeah, that is true indeed. Folks are always going to need some tools. It's like a hammer and a nail. It's better to use a hammer to nail in something as opposed to trying to hammer fist a nail in the wood.
Right.
Now, granted, it might look cool on a martial arts training video, but still, it might be better to use a hammer.
Right.
Yeah. So before launching your speaking business in 2014, what led to that decision? It's like you're teaching for 10 years and you might have been enjoying that, but what led to just starting the whole speaking business for you?
Well, sometimes you get messages sent to you through different ways. For me, I say that's God speaking to me in a way that I didn't expect. And there were times where I had launched a training business in 2009 and was doing online coaching and doing some business coaching and those types of things. But I kept getting the question, are you speaking? Are you a speaker? And I would say, no, I'm not, at least not officially. And I wasn't pursuing that, but I kept getting the question. And I was asked finally by somebody, well, why not? Why is that not a part of your business model? Why is that not a part of your toolkit? And, I've been told quite a few times in life that, I've got a tool here in my voice that is already pretty developed. So it's not just kind of, okay, you got this message. You already have a developed voice. You know how to project. You know how to speak. You know how to share with people in a certain way. So why not utilize that as your mechanism for getting people to hear the message that you want them to hear? So, I finally heard it, and I decided that I was going to start taking some actions. So whatever size, however large or small the steps were, I was going to start taking some. So that was part of the process. I think the big thing for me was it wasn't that my mom, my dad, my Uncle Bill, Trevor, whoever was telling me, hey, you should do this. This was people that I didn't know, people that I had never met, or people that I may have spoken to on the phone a couple of times online, but never met in person and didn't really know me. So obviously there was some energy being given off, something that was being projected that I wasn't totally living into. And so once I decided to do that, some doors started to open up.
That is wonderful. It's kind of funny how that may happen. Is like, it may not be family, but someone out there may just give you that idea, and then you decide to take that leap of faith and just go out there and do it.
Right.
Yeah. So what trials did you have to overcome after just taking that leap of faith from just having a training business to just having a speaking business?
Well, I don't know if you ever overcome all of the trials. It's continual. I mean, trials are meant to help you grow. That's what really helps you move forward. If you don't discover how to get past or how to deal with some things, you're plateaued and you're going to be in the same place. So you really need to access those trials and utilize those as, okay, yep, this is just a rung in the ladder. This is a part of the process. And so for me, there were a lot of things. There were just knowing how to run a business in the first place was a big one. Being somebody who is classified as an introvert. I was used to doing a lot of stuff on my own by myself. And so being able to build a team or knowing what I need and not trying to do everything on my own was a big challenge. And I still struggle with that daily. So, I really have to learn. I had to learn and still have to learn some days how to access other people, how to access my team better and allow them to work inside of their expertise instead of me trying to do everything.
Yeah, that's true, because you'll get tired really fast trying to do everything on your own.
Yeah.
So besides learning business, what advice would you give to someone who's looking to start their own speaking business?
Well, well, the business part of it, you got to learn. But if you're going to have a speaking business, then you got to learn how to speak. Right? So, and I say that jokingly, but my goodness, I have seen so many people again, and there is something to speaking and putting something in the atmosphere and claiming it. But if you're going to slap on your business card that I'm a speaker, or I'm a professional speaker, or I'm a motivational speaker, then you better doggone learn how to speak. Okay? Because I've been to presentations where people who say that they're motivational speakers or they're speakers, but they have not, and you can tell, and this is not a hit on people who are less fortunate or anything like that, right. But there are some people who have just not taken the time to perfect or to get better at their craft. Okay, if I hear you speaking and I know that you did not study your speech, okay, if you start out, I'm just going to do the best I can, listen, I didn't come here for that. I came here to learn something. I came here for you to give me value because you're the expert. We paid to see you. Your name was on the flyer, right? Exactly. So I expect that you prepare. I expect that you take this thing seriously because, this is our time as well as our money in some cases. So my expectation and the advice that I give to people that are starting out is, listen, you better find an organization, you better take a class, you better do something that is going to always push you towards growth. That could be starting Toastmasters. That could be going to your local community college and taking an improv class. That could be going to your local comedy club and deciding that you're going to do open mic regularly so that you can get the feedback from it. It can, yeah, whatever it is, you got to do something. You don't get to just walk up every time and not prepare. And then when people don't give you the feedback you need, or when you don't get hired, or when you don't get paid for it, complain about it. You've got to grow. You've got to intentionally invest in yourself financially through your time and do what it takes to get better and continue to grow and take your craft seriously.
Sage advice indeed. And always grow too. I mean, it's like we're all humans, but we're kind of trees in a way too. We got to extend our branches.
Yep, absolutely.
What books have inspired you to take action thus far, or what books are you currently reading right now that you would recommend to others?
Wow, that's loaded always, man. I'm always reading something. The very first book that my dad gave me that made a difference was Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. And he gave me that book, gosh, I don't remember how long ago. It was probably about 10 years ago that he gave that to me. And he also gave me Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That was one of the things. And he says, yeah, I gave that to you so that you can make the money and take care of me when I get older. So, nice. Yeah. But I mean, I'm always reading stuff, man. I just finished up one called The Irresistible Power of Story Speak by a guy named Nicholas Boothman. And because I'm a speaker, I'm always reading stuff about speaking. And just like I mentioned to people, you got to grow, you got to do better. It wouldn't be genuine or authentic of me if I wasn't doing the same thing, right? So I'm reading a book called The Book on Public Speaking by Topher Morrison. I'm reading The Pumpkin Plan by Mike Michalowicz. I just finished up one called, I read Turning Pro recently by Stephen Pressfield. I was in the midst of Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. I haven't finished that yet, but because it's a really big book, but I'm still plowing through that. I just finished last month also Speak Like Churchill, Stand Like Lincoln.
Great audio.
So yeah, so there are quite a few, man. My goal this year was to do 30 books, and so I'm more than halfway there. And I don't always count all of them depending on the size that they are.
Right. Right. Don't want to read 10 pages and be like, all right, that's a book right there, baby. No.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
And how about any music that like inspires you? Any specific artist you recommend? Something that just gets you pumped up? What gets RK3 in the mood to light up a crowd?
Man, it depends on the day. It depends on the day. I mean, I am a worship leader at my church, so gospel music pumps me up. So I listen to a lot of different things. Fred Hammond, William Murphy. I listen to. My kids are big Anthony Brown fans, so I listen to the up-tempo Anthony Brown stuff and get hype on that. And then on the other end, there's sometimes where I'll pop in a little Eminem.
There you go.
Two totally different things, right? Yeah. Or I'll go. I mean, when I want to get my head nodding and really get old school, I'll go Heavy D, man.
Classic. I love it.
Yeah.
So, all right, the last question, and that would be, what advice would you give to yourself if you were 25 in the year 2017?
Wow. What advice would I give to myself? I would say ignore the haters.
Yeah.
Ignore the haters. I think at some point in life, there's some people that I look at, my gosh, and how they're able to move forward in spite of what people say. And I look back at my life and I realize that there were definitely times, and I think a lot of us do this, we allowed our lives or moments in our lives to be shaped by what we feared that other people might say, or what we thought other people were going to feel. And so we make decisions based on that, and you don't often play full out, or you don't dive all the way in because you're scared of how it's going to turn out. So my sage advice to the younger me would be just do the doggone thing and worry about tomorrow.
I like that. Worry about tomorrow. I'll have to actually write that one down.
Yeah.
All right, so how can we keep in contact with you? Where are your social media handles and all that good stuff?
Well, I'm pretty consistent, man. It's Robert Kennedy 3 all around the board. Or Robert Kennedy 3 on Instagram, Robert Kennedy 3 on LinkedIn, Robert Kennedy 3 on Twitter, Robert Kennedy 3 on Facebook, and I deleted my Snapchat because I wasn't doing anything with it.
Don't blame me.
Well, I didn't delete the account. I just deleted the app because, my daughter just wanted to play with the filters. And I was tired of putting on glasses and all sorts of craziness, swapping faces and all that. So, I went back to the platforms that were providing value for me. And of course, my website is robertkennedy3.com, the number 3.
Sweetness. And I believe there's the Speak Right Now community as well.
Yeah, that is right. I do have a Facebook community, Speak Right Now, write as in writing a book, Speak Right Now, and that is a community where we do a lot of stuff, a lot of things for speakers and writers. Anybody who wants to be able to tell their story more confidently, credibly, clearly, we want to invite you to be a part of the Speak Right Now community, and you can join that by looking that up on Facebook, or you can go to speakrightnow.com. If you go there to the main website, there's a download there. That's a free download, 15 ways to grab speaking gigs today. And so people can grab that. And if you go speakrightnow.com/community, it'll lead you to the Facebook group as well.
Well, all righty. Wonderful. Well, there we have it, folks. Mr. Robert Kennedy III, baby.
Yeah.
Thanks a bunch for your tuning ears on the Going North podcast. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to, once again, check out my book, Going North, on Amazon.com and CreateSpace.com. And if you'd like, feel free to follow me on social media at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at Dom Brightman, YouTube at Dom Brightman. And if you want to connect on LinkedIn as well, I am there at Dom Brightman as well. Go out there and make the rest of your week the best of your week.